خیلی خوش اومدیم به کلاس زوهر.
شما که چیزی گفتین خیلی چیز خوندین، میشه بگین چی خوندین؟
پرشای شمینی. خیلی خوش اومدیم، ویلکام. همونطوری که گفتیم قبلا که کلاس زوهر فقط کلاس نالج نیست، فقط کلاس اینفورمیشن نیست. کلاس زوهر کلاسیه که ربط پیدا میکنه به اون انرژی هفته یا اون ماهی که ما توش هستیم یا تو اون هالیده که توش هستیم. It's not about knowledge only, it's about how to feel, how to behave, how to act. همیشه گفتیم یه روزی که بارونیه ما کت میپوشیم میریم بیرون، روزی که گرمه شاید با خودمون چت ببریم از آفتاب خودمون پروتکت بکنیم. این کلاسایی که ما اینجا میذاریم is to how to act, how to behave during this period. این پرشای هفته از پرشای شمینی به معنی هشتم، ولی قبل از اینکه به پرشا برسیم میخواستم راجع به اومر صحبت بکنم. اومر یه پیریودیه که از پسخ شروع میشه برای 49 روز. Welcome doctor, it's a very private thing today because we have an event over there. Come in, sit in the front please.
Yeah, sorry.
No, don't be sorry.
We apologize for being late.
No, don't be sorry, come sit in the front. So, can you close the door? I'm sorry about that.
No.
So welcome to Zohar class, right timing, perfect timing.
Again, I apologize to everybody.
No, don't be apologize. Today, we are very lucky tonight. We have this zuchut that it's a private thing because there is a huge event going on over there. So I'm lucky, we're all lucky to be here. So this portion of the Torah is called Shemini, the 8th. But at the same time, we are in a period that called Omer. We are in a period that called Omer.
Counting the Omer.
Counting the Omer is 49 days that starts from the next day after Pesach and all the way to Shavuot. So the Zohar class is not only a class for knowledge, information, is how to feel, how to act, how to behave for that particular week. So right now we are in Omer. There is a certain way we are supposed to act, certain things we are supposed to say and do and think. So this class is here to educate us, to guide us how to act or what to do during this
What these things are.
period of Omer. So first we're going to talk about Omer, then we're going to talk about Shemini, and then we're going to talk about the beautiful subject this week in the Torah portion is about the pure animals that we can consume. It's directly from the Torah. Okay, so we are in Omer. Omer is 49 days. And why 49 days? Because we have 7 Sefirot. We have the 7 Sefirot that are related to us. And it corresponds to 7 weeks between Passover to Omer. So the two Shavuot. So the first week is Chesed, the second week is Gevurah, which we are at right now. That's reminding about the pain. And the third week is Tiferet, then Netzach, then Hod, then Yesod, and then Malchut. So we are in a week of Gevurah, which is a tough week. It's in the left column. Last week was about Chesed, kindness and love. And that's why we eat matzah the first week, because we want to be the kindest, no chametz, no negativity. That's why the Torah forces us to have the matzah, because we want to practice the maximum of chesed. And every week within it has 7 days naturally. So within every sephirah there is also 7 other sephirot. So we have the first day is chesed of chesed, the second day is gevurah of chesed, Gevurah of Chesed. The third day is the Tiferet of Chesed, and on. Today we are the Yesod of Gevurah, and tomorrow is the Malchut of Gevurah, and then we have Shabbat. Again, we're gonna have a new thing. This year is a very, very special year. I talked about in the last class we had. Is exactly the same days that we left Egypt. We left Egypt on Shabbat, and the first day was the
Chesed.
Sunday, the Chesed, the Sunday. So this year again is the same story. The first day Passover was Shabbat, and the first day was Chesed. So like this Shabbat is going to be Tiferet, and then Sunday is going to be the Chesed of the Tiferet. So it's these days falling exactly like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday to Friday. Like Friday is the 6 days. Tomorrow is going to be the Malchut, right before Shabbat. Imagine that there is a building, 7-story building. The first floor is doctors, but we have an eye doctor, we have an ear doctor, we have a foot doctor. So, and the second floor is lawyers. We have a personal injury lawyer, we have a business lawyer. So we have 7-story building, and within each floor there's a different kind of that particular profession. So every day out of these 49 days, we are touching another aspect of the Zerampi. This is the qualities, this is the characters we should have. Character of kindness, character of strength, character of a goodness, balance, beauty, character of having a bitachon, having a certainty. This is a character of shalom. This is a character of having a foundation, who know who you are, and character of joy and happiness. So these 49 days, we are going step by step until we reach Shavuot. Shavuot is the Super Bowl of this event, Omer. In Shavuot, we receive the Torah, we receive the highest level of light. But in order to receive that, you have to prepare yourself. You have to go through this process. There is a good example. If I want to go to a club, if I want to go to anywhere, there is a gate. You have to have a requirement. You have to have the right clothing. You have to have the right ticket. You have to look good. You have to behave in order for them to let you coming in. So in order for us to receive this tremendous energy of Shavuot, the maximum light, they call it the Ora. Or is light, Ora is with the Hey, is like the light of God. So on Shavuot, we're receiving this light of God, but in order for us to be accepted, in order for us to let us come in, we have to go through this process of 49 days to purify ourselves, to act correctly, to behave, to think correctly, to have the right speech, to have the right actions in order for us to receive this aura, this light. So every year, we learn that everything I share with you right now, this is what we learned throughout these years. This year, I learned amazing thing about this Omer. I'm going to share it with you. The previous year, we talked about, the first week is Chesed. We have to act with kindness, with love. And if it's the day of Gevurah in Chesed, this is the day that we have to be strong in our belief of kindness. Not I'm kind when it's comfortable for me. To be strong, even if I don't feel good, even if I have a bad day, I still have to practice kindness. Or today, for example, is the Yesod of Gevurah. Today is like to have the maximum of certainty to be strong. Even God forbidden, I'm sick, or I'm depressed, or I'm sad, or whatever reason, I still have to be strong enough to block my judgmental behavior, my reactive behavior, and so on and so on. And on a day, by the way, the Lag BaOmer is Hod of Hod, is the maximum of peace and tranquility. And on the week of Malchut, just live life, like they said in English, live life, be happy. Would you like to come and sit here?
I'm fine. I'm
You
just,
sure?
yeah.
Okay.
Don't worry.
So
I'm fine. I'm with you. I'm with you. Don't worry.
the new thing I learned about this year, that it's amazing about. So far we're clear about Omer. They keep saying Omer is a negative time. Omer is a sad time. we are not part of those groups. Like I said over and over, the days of being afraid is over.
That's right.
This is the time of being brave and know God, understand God,
Joy.
and see what He wants from us. Not out of fear, out of love and responsibility. So, the Omer, why they said don't have a party, don't do this, don't do that, because they wanted you to concentrate on yourself. They wanted you to look at yourself. Don't be busy with anything outside, and don't put yourself in a situation that you're gonna be, your ego gonna be boosted, or you're gonna get into the argument with anybody. They said don't do anything, don't make a party, don't start anything new. Just keep it low and go through this process. This year, something new that I learned about Omer, we just started a new year. We started Passover. We know that the year is divided into two portions. This first 6 months from Passover to Rosh Hashanah we call it potential. And then from Rosh Hashanah to the next Passover is actual. So, on the first 6 months, I have the potential to receive what I want by studying, by learning, by educating myself. And in the second 6 months, I'm going to receive it. It's going to come to reality. To give you an example, in the morning when I put my tefillin, right away nothing happened to me. I said my prayer, I go through all the tefillah, I put my tefillin, I meditate, but no miracle happened to me in that particular moment. Nothing happened. I'm still in my home with my synagogue. But during the day, when I act upon what I learned from putting the tefillin, when I act upon what I study, what I receive, then the blessing is going to come to me. So first I receive the light, then I consume it, and when I implement it, in a real life, then the blessing starts coming in. So the first 6 months, I pray, I meditate, I learn, I do all the positive things, and the second 6 months, the blessing starts coming to me. So there is one prayer on Yom Kippur, right before the Ne'ilah, right before we finish the Yom Kippur. This is the Kaddish Titkabal. Right after Kaddish Titkabal, there is a prayer that we are asking God to open for us 50 gates. 50 gates. So the Chachamim, the Zohar tells us these 50 gates, they are corresponded to those 50 days of the Omer. The 50th day is, of course, the Shavuot. Again, I'm going to repeat. There is a prayer in the Sidurim of Yom Kippur, right before Ne'ilah, after the Kaddish. There is a prayer that we are asking God to open for us 50 gates. The Chachamim, the Zohar, tell us that these 50 gates are corresponded to the 50 days of Omer. In Yom Kippur, where are we at? We are in the second part of the year, right? The part of the actual. So, in order for us, in Yom Kippur, those 50 gates open for us, we have to practice these 50 days of the Omer. If we practice these 50 days of Omer, then we're going to receive, then the gate's going to open for us on Yom Kippur. Again, if I want the gate of Refuah Shalema, healing, we pray for it on Yom Kippur. So the day that corresponded on the Omer, if I act upon giving healing to other people, or trying to help sick people, or I have this consciousness that I want to be healthy, I want to do my job. If I'm a mother, if I'm a father, if I'm a doctor, if I'm a teacher, please God, give me the healing. I'll keep me healthy, so I'm going to be able to provide to others, to share with others. So if I'm the day that I'm acting correctly on the Omer, then that gate is going to open for me. I have the ticket.
Okay.
I have
Are
the
these,
ticket.
are these called what are referred to as the 50 gates of light?
50 gates of Nun Share Bina. Yes,
Yeah.
the 50 gates of Bina.
Yeah.
Where we wanna get in Yom Kippur. Where we are going on Yom Kippur, we wanna reach
Bina.
the light of Bina.
Yeah, 50 gates.
So this is Nun Share Bina, 50 gates of Bina. But in order for those gates to open for me on Yom Kippur, I need to buy the ticket in the Omer.
You have to do the work.
To count the days of Omer and
We're gonna get there. Not only counting, we're gonna get there. How we get there? So, and to do the Omer, by the way, is directly from the Torah. It's not a halacha. It's not a made up by anybody in the Torah directly. They call it oraita. It's come to us directly from the Torah, black and white, that you have to count the Omer. This is a mitzvah of counting the Omer. Not doing favor to God or anybody else, is a favor for us, for our own good. The Torah is not an educational book, it's a book for us to achieve a higher level, to transform myself to be a better person, to achieve higher spirituality. So it's a mitzvah, and we have to do it according to the Torah. Now, why counting? What's the difference between counting and putting on the tefillin? Or what is the difference between counting and lighting a candle? Most of the mitzvah come to us automatically, like we don't have to think about it. Light the candle, boom, I light the candle. Yes, I meditate, I say prayer, but after a while it become like automated. We become like robots, and in this crazy life we have, we're all the time on the rush, so we just want to do it and keep on going. Counting make you think, what day is today? What I'm supposed to do today? Is it Gevurah today? Is it Chesed Shebetiferet? Is it, what's going on? I have to think. And I have to train my mind to think first. Usually the mind telling me what to do. All the time the mind tells me to do. And I know it all. There is nobody in this world that his mind tells them, you're stupid. I know it all, don't teach me anything. I've been there, I've done that, just follow my direction. So usually the mind tells us what to do. During the Omer, we tell the mind what to do. Hey, don't run anywhere. Don't try to control me. I'm controlling you. Today is the 5th day. Count it. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Say the blessing. So we are training our mind by counting, that the mind have to listen to us. On a regular day, we go to work and we react, we do this, we do that, just another day. But when I know that today is for healing, when I know today is for parnasa, for sustenance, when I know today is for happiness, then I'm going to train my mind not to react. Stay focused on what you're supposed to do that day. And guess what? After 50 days, you train your mind to listen to you. Then on the 51st day, the mind gonna tell you what I'm supposed to do today. Can you help me out? Can you direct me now? So we are coming, by doing this for 50 days, they call it chaya, the animalistic. We tell this animal, stop. I'm gonna tell you what to do from now on. You're not controlling me. So after the 51st day, the mind is waiting for you what to do. So tell them what to do. And obviously, after these 50 days, you're going to tell the mind what to do.
The wild bull has been tamed.
Exactly. So now, what are those gates? I'm so sorry. It was such a busy days for me. I didn't have a chance to make a copy. Hopefully, we're going to have somebody to make copy for us, because I want you. So every day, practice this. So before, since today we are on the 30th day, 13. So we're going to say the blessing of the Omer, and I want you guys to say the blessing of the Omer every day. Usually we say it at nighttime, after the sundown, because the new day starts in sundown. Like tonight is the 13th date until tomorrow. So tonight is the Yesod of the Gevurah, Friday is the Malchut of Gevurah, and Shabbat is already going to be the Tiferet of the Tiferet. It's going to be the complete. On Shabbat, it's going to be the complete Sefirah, Tiferet of the
Every
Tiferet.
Shabbat? Or
Every Shabbat.
Tiferet of Chesed.
No. The first day was Chesed of the Chesed. The first Shabbat. The first Shabbat of Passover was Chesed of Chesed.
Okay.
This past Shabbat was Gevurah of Gevurah. And then Sunday was the Chesed of the Gevurah. Monday was the Gevurah of Gevurah. Tuesday was the Tiferet of the Gevurah. Wednesday was Netzach of the Gevurah.
Wait. The second Shabbat was
The Gevurah of the Gevurah.
and the
The complete,
okay, and the Sunday was
the Chesed of the Gevurah.
And
There
then-
is 7 levels in each. There's
but
7
it doesn't
levels.
start
And-
from Chesed.
The first week,
first week
was
No.
Chesed.
The second week it's
the first week is Chesed, the second week is Chesed Gevurah.
And next
The Shabbat is Chesed of the Gevurah, Sunday is the Gevurah of the Gevurah.
right. That's what I said. The Shabbat is Gevurah of Chesed. It was Gevurah of Chesed.
No. Every Shabbat is one Sefirah.
Chesed of Gevurah, right?
This is the number 1.
Right.
This is one. Every Sunday is going to start with Chesed. That's why I say it's a very special year.
Okay.
Because you know the Ana Bekoach, the first sentence is Chesed. We say
Yeah.
Sunday Chesed, Monday Gevurah,
Right.
Tuesday. So this year is a very special year. It's fall
The same
exactly the same year we came out of Egypt. So every Shabbat is going to be the complete Sefirah, Chesed of Chesed. It's going to be the
So next Shabbat will be Tiferet of Tiferet.
Yes,
And then Netzach of Netzach.
yes,
And then Hod of Hod.
yes,
Each of those will be the Shabbats.
Yes.
The complete.
yes, complete. Every Shabbat is the complete Sefirah, is the Sefirah itself, and on the Sunday is going to be the Chesed. I know I can read from your face.
It's
Let's
kinda-
keep going and you're going to get it.
I'll ask it later.
So Sunday, April 4th was the Chesed of the Chesed, because
Right.
Saturday was a holiday. We start counting from Sunday, and today is the 13. Today is the 13 is the Yesod of the Gevurah, the 13th day. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna make a copy. So, going back to the gates. So tonight is called Sha'arei Tzahala. In English, it means merriment. Do I
Yes.
merriment? How do you explain merriment?
Merriment is the joyous celebration and activities of just being joyful and merry and happy.
Fun. So Tzahala in Hebrew, when you're extremely happy, it's like you have this voice coming out of you. It's like wow. It's like not from this world. I mean, when you're laughing out loud and it's from true happiness, there's a special tone into it, and in Hebrew they call it Tzahala. So Shor, exactly. So tonight, the gate that we want to open on Yom Kippur is a gate of fun, happiness, Shor. So, and tonight and tomorrow we have to act upon it. And it's very related actually to our parasha tonight. We have to act upon it. We cannot get sad from any challenges that come across us. In this parashat Shemini, Aaron, he loses 2 of his sons. And he stay quiet, he doesn't cry, he doesn't mourn, he doesn't do nothing. Of course, this is an extreme example Torah giving us. But there is no reason for us to never ever lose our, I don't want to say happiness, but our trust in a system, our belief. Certain times you really cannot be happy, but you have to be content. You have to always feel complete. You have to look at it that there is maybe goodness in it, there is a purpose in it. God forbid, and everybody live to 120, even at the funeral, there is a sentence which says, Baruch Dayan Emet. It's like we praise God for being the correct judge. Because even on the darkest day, We don't mourn. There is no mourning in Judaism. There is no sadness in Judaism. We believe that He is the ultimate judge and He knows what He's doing. So from now until tomorrow night, you have to buy yourself this ticket of happiness. Buy yourself this ticket of joy. Don't let any news to put you down. Don't let anybody put you down. Tomorrow, I don't want to give bad examples. You have a business and you have a bad check coming. Or don't let yourself go down tomorrow. You want to keep a smile and you want to create smile and happiness for others also. If I do it only for myself, then on Yom Kippur I'm going to receive this itsy bitsy of happiness. But if I share it with the whole world, then with 10 people are going to receive 10 times the amount on Yom Kippur. So promise yourself, promise me from tonight to tomorrow, smile, happiness, this joy. Don't let any pain to put you down. Don't let any people, any news to put you down.
Amen.
Welcome, Baruch haba. Befahme. Yes.
Question.
Yes.
Have we passed the days that we should ask, or the gate of refuah?
I was
the
going.
Gate
I
of
was.
Parnasa is gone, is done.
You know me.
Or still we are.
You know me better than that. I would never give up on these things, and I would cover it.
No, just like.
No, we won't
I
lose
just
it.
want to know.
We won't
We
lose
haven't
it.
We
passed it yet.
We won't lose it.
past those days is coming.
Don't forget, time and space doesn't exist in spirituality. You can close your eyes now and go to your classroom in Iran and see your teacher, right? Is it possible for you or no?
It is.
So we're gonna go back, 13 days and boom, 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 we're gonna cover everything.
Okay.
You know me, I won't miss a chance
No,
like
just,
that.
I was wondering.
know,
I need
so-
that refuah for sure.
Refuah, it actually was 2 days ago, but we're gonna cover that. We're gonna cover that. So let's say the blessing. And by the way, every night of Omer we say the Ana B'Koach. You know how powerful Ana B'Koach is. And we have to say Ana B'Koach for the blessing. If we don't say the Ana B'Koach, then it doesn't work. So Ana B'Koach is a true Kabbalah, and it's amazing that we have to use it. So I'm gonna say the blessing and say the Amen, and we're gonna say the Ana B'Koach. So we cover the ticket that we need to buy today for tomorrow, and we're gonna go through all those 13s from the past days.
Very good, thank you.
I'm not sure if you're supposed to do this standing or not, but let's do it standing. This way we should. So just say the Amen. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Kedishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al Sfirat HaOmer.
Amen.
היום 13 יום לעומר שהם שבוע אחד ושישה ימים. ענה בכוח גדולת ימיניך תתיר צרורה, קבל רינת עמך סגבנו טהרנו נורא, נא גיבור דורשי ייחודך כבבת שמרם, ברכם טהרם לחמי צדקתך תמיד גומלם, חסין קדוש ברוב טובך נהל עדתך, יחיד גאה לעמך פני זוכרי קדושתך, שבתנו קבל ושמע צעקתנו יודע תעלומות. Silence he said, Baruch. Okay, Mazal Tov, we wish for a day full of joy and happiness. So
Amen.
let's go back to the first day. What gate? If you want to write it down, this way. Sure. It's in Hebrew and English, but it's a good thing. So the first day was Sharei Teshuvah. Teshuvah means repentance. So repentance in a simple way is to change. If I don't change myself, I'm not going to get anywhere. If some people says, oh, for 20 years I have the same issue. So come on, change yourself, change your ways. It's about time to change something. Change your location, change your friends, change your mind, change your school, change your attitude, and then your life. So the first day was, I'm open, Sharei Teshuvah. I'm open for change. Some people say, don't teach me anything, I know it all, leave me alone. So he's not buying the ticket for Yom Kippur. So first of all, Sharei Teshuvah is change. Sharei Teshu'ah was the second day. Teshua, deliverance. I'm sorry, deliverance. Teshua means, I need to believe that I'm gonna be saved. If I'm in a dark place and I don't see the light, then the light is not gonna come to me.
I have to have hope.
I have to have hope.
Excuse me, you
Believe-
said first day was Teshua.
First day was Teshuvah. Teshuvah.
Second day,
Teshua.
Teshua.
So it's like I believe that I'm gonna be saved. I believe I'm gonna become a better person. I believe I'm not that rigid. I'm gonna let the master of the universe is gonna save me one day. Am I saying it correctly?
Absolutely.
The third day was Shalei Tefillah. Shalei Tefillah is to pray.
Right.
To pray. It's, most of us, we don't know how to pray. We don't know what to pray for. Yes, we follow the Siddur, we follow, but, it's not about the technicality of it, is when I'm capable of praying, when I'm good enough to be worthy of praying, is the feeling, So I want to buy the ticket to learn. So he's, the system or my teachers, or they're going to teach me how to pray. And Baruch Hashem, when we came to this Kenisa, we learn how to pray. We learn how to meditate. We learn how to connect. I remember the movie of Gravity. I don't know if you saw it with Sandra Bullock.
Yes.
And she was in a tough spot. She says, I don't know how to pray. She said, listen, I want to pray, but I don't know how to pray. So, knowing praying is a zuchud. Knowing how to pray is a privilege. So we are asking that, please open the gate of learning how to pray. The fourth day was Sharei Torah. Torah, the Bible, wow, this is the ultimate, wisdom, the ultimate light, the only light on the physical world. So we want to buy the ticket by studying the Torah the first 6 months, by coming to classes, by studying Zohar, by listening, by learning, then eventually on Kippur, he's going to open the Torah for us. The next day was Sharei Shalva, gate of peace. They said Aaron was Ish Shalom and Rodev Shalom. He was a peaceful person and he was chasing peace. It's not good enough for me to be in peace. I want to create peace for others also. So by creating peace for others, on Yom Kippur, they're going to open the gate of peace for me. Sharei Shalva. Shalva is tranquility. How do you explain tranquility, doctor? Well, how different is than peace?
It's a matter of perspective. It's not tranquility. Something like the best example I can use is water. Okay,
Water.
A calm lake is
Calm.
tranquil.
What is balance?
Absolutely, yeah. Peaceful. I mean, you could have an ocean with waves coming in, and the birds singing, and you're there alone, and still be peaceful. But tranquility includes the physical aspect of calmness.
I think means content.
Yes.
To be content.
in
Shalva.
addition-
Sharei Shalva means to be qane budan. To be with peace, to be content. The next one is Sharei Ratzon. To have desires. In Kabbalah we learned you have to have the biggest desire in the world. Kabbalah teaches us you have to want it all. Don't be happy with small portions. I want to learn the whole Torah. I want the most money I can handle and help humanity. I want to have the most knowledge. I want to have the most power to do good things. So Ratzon, without desire, I cannot get anywhere. Some people that says, no, I don't want to learn anything. I don't want to go anywhere. So one of the keys to be successful is to have desires. And desires doesn't come easily. We all know our grandparents, Grandpa, let's go to the beach. No, I don't want to go. I don't care for the beach. So it's good for him, it's going to bring him peace, but he doesn't have the desire. Yes, sir.
Well, in Kabbalah, it's that strong desire, yes, but am I understanding correctly that it's not for the sake of oneself?
Yes,
but
to share.
Exactly.
In receive in order to share.
Okay,
In receive in order to lashpia, to influence.
there you
I want to receive, but in order to receive, I want to build a synagogue, but if I don't have money, how am I going to build a synagogue? So I said, God, please give me money, make my business successful. So I'm going to have plenty of financing so I can build a synagogue. If I don't have a desire to make money, how am I going to build a synagogue? If I don't have my own income business, how am I going to show up here at the class? You know, I have to have sustenance in order for me to afford to come here.
Exactly.
For you guys too, as a student. So we have to have desire to receive in order to share with others, to dare to influence others. The other one is sha'are rachamim, compassion. So that was the day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Eight.
7, 8.
Six.
Yeah, rachamim is 8.
We are on 6. What
Rachamim.
was
Eight.
6?
We had teshuvah, teshuah, tefillah, Torah, shalva, shalom, ratzon, and rachamim. Nove rachamim. So this is chesed, kindness. If I want God to be kind to me on Yom Kippur, I better buy the ticket right now. This is the time to buy a ticket. You know how there's a concert down the road in 6 months and they say, we're sorry, it's sold out. You should have bought it like a few months ago. This is the time to buy your tickets for Yom Kippur. We all connected. All the holidays, you know, I was sitting with my teacher. It's a long story. It's weeks of studying. All the holidays are connected. There is no by mistake or by chance, oh, we have Kippur, we have Rosh Hashanah. No, they're all connected to each other. Kippur is the actual, and now we are in potential. So by practicing kindness, rachamim, chesed, we are buying the ticket to receive chesed. So number 9 is refuah shelema, is healing. Is 9 day was a few days ago, is a day for healing. When I'm Yom Kippur, I ask God, please bring healing to me, to my friends, to my family. You know, right now in Omer, we should practice giving healing to other people, helping sick people, having this consciousness that, you know, I deserve healing on the day of Yom Kippur. What have you done to deserve healing? You know, or ask for healing on Yom Kippur. You know, we should take care of a sick person. We should volunteer. We should make a phone call to a sick person. You know, how are you feeling? How are you doing?
May I share?
You know.
May I share?
Yes.
The other day, on the 9th, on this day, I have a patient.
Wow.
The patient was denied by her insurance company for the treatment. $90,000 treatment. was
Yes.
denied, okay? On that day, I got her approved.
9 day off after the Passover. The Baruch Hashem, thank you. I'm sure you bought a ticket for yourself, and since you are part of this group and class, Bezrat Hashem, you buy this ticket for all of
You can
us.
ride with me.
And you know, so don't forget, we are not into this for our own. There is no such a thing on our own. You know, when my finger hurt, all my body hurt. You know, when I have a headache, my whole body is shut down. When I have my toe hurt, I cannot, my whole body is not functioning. So we are not here for ourselves. We want to buy ticket for everybody. So if we do any of these things, we want to do it not for only group, not only for our city, for the whole humanity. The whole humanity, you know, God, I'm doing this healing thing, so please bring healing to the whole humanity. Then the next one was Sha'are Kibbutz Galiyot, gate of ingathering of the exiles. Again, this is the same thing we just mentioned right now. I'm not into this for my own only, you know. Sha'are Kibbutz Galuyot. Kibbutz Galuyot is a famous thing in Israel. It's like to gather all the lost souls,
bring them back.
you know, bring them back, you know. So we want to talk to our friends. We want to talk to our family. We want to talk to our neighbors. Hey, you know, take a class. Come with us. You know, join us. Not necessarily this class. Any other class. You know, we have to be concerned about everybody's transformation, everybody's elevation, not only about our own. And the next one was Kibul Tefillot, Share Kibul Tefillot, gate of acceptance of prayers. If somebody asks us for something, and somebody needy, he wants something from us, and maybe he's not saying I'm praying for it, but he's asking for it.
It's a request.
So if he's somebody requesting something from us, then we are positive to him. Yes, we welcome him. I know we are busy. We all have to run and do something. But if we take the time and we accept his request, we pay attention to his request, we are buying the ticket for Yom Kippur that God's going to accept our request. You think we are busy? Can you imagine how busy God is? So on Yom Kippur, I want him to accept my request. He said, listen, let me see, have you helped anybody else? Have you accomplished? Did you deny anybody's request? Let me see your chart. So if anybody is asking us something, we have to be acceptable. We have to welcome it. So God's going to welcome our prayers on Yom Kippur. The next one yesterday was Share Komimut, was the gate of, here they explain in English, pride is not correct. Komimut in Hebrew means elevated, be elevated. Kum in Hebrew means to standing up. I don't want to be, I want to be able to stand up. I want to be able to elevate myself. Change doesn't come easy. To get better doesn't come easy. To achieve something is not easy. So I have to be able to stand up. I have to be able to raise myself. So on Yom Kippur, I want that power, that God gonna give me this power to raise myself. The fact that we left our comfort home, instead of watching TV, we came here. We stand up and we came to the class. So that's Komimut. Give me the strength, give me the power to stand in order to elevate myself. So that was yesterday, and today was the Tzahala, the joy and happiness. So, we missed the homework for the past 13 days, so tomorrow we have this homework to do, and I'm going to try to make a copy of this. You can take a picture with your cell phone later on and practice this. So this is an amazing new thing I learned about the Omer, that in Omer we are buying the ticket for Yom Kippur, and I'm pretty sure not too many people talk about this or they have the knowledge of this. Baruch Hashem, we have the zuchut to learn this and to know of this.
So for the 50 days,
And
our task is to get a ticket every day.
get a ticket every
At
day.
the end of
So
the
To buy a ticket.
Right, through our
Same
app.
tickets or just
No, every day is 50.
different.
You remember we said Chesed of Chesed, Gevurah of Chesed, Tiferet of Chesed. So every day is a different story. And other years we try to explain it, kindness and the strength in kindness. This is make it very simple. We don't have to go through all
At
those
the end of the
fancy
counting of
words.
the Omer, all of us should have 50 tickets.
And you know what's the ticket of the 50th day? Share Ora, the light.
Light of Bina.
This is amazing. It starts from here. The light always comes from above to below, but we are a vessel, we are light, so we have to go from below to the top. So we started from the end going up. So the 50th day, on the night of Shavuot, this is Share Ora. So if we practice Shavuot, every year they tell us if you spend the whole night of Shavuot in the class, you buy a guarantee to be healthy and happy the rest of the day, because you're receiving this amazing light. You're receiving this. The gate of light opens to you.
We do this every year at Beit Teshuvah, and then they take out the Torah, and the whole community, we get in the center of the room, and they wrap the Torah around all of us.
We've been doing this for the past 10 years too. We take off the Torah. We don't do wrapping, but if you're going to join us this year, you're going to see our ways of doing
We
it.
wrap the Torah instead.
Can I take a picture of that copy, please?
Sure. You want to leave it after class? Let's do it after the
good
class.
idea.
Another There is a few secrets about the Omer letter. Where is my pen? Let me see.
Maybe in that cabinet,
Oh.
behind that curtain.
رو کانتر نیست اونجا.
Nah.
Usually she puts it.
Wow. No, this is good here. Okay, we're gonna say it verbally. So how many days we have in Omer? 49.
7 times 7.
7 times 7. And you know, gematria, the numerical value is a huge thing in Kabbalah.
Right.
So do you know what's the numerical value of Lev, heart is?
36.
32. Lamed is 30, 2 is
Lev, oh, yeah.
32.
I
What's the numerical value of Tov is? Tov, good? 17. What is 17 and 32? 49. Good heart. Lev Tov. So 49 is corresponded to good heart. We can go through all these fancy schmancy, you know, formulas and dates and gates, but the Torah tells us it's coming down to a good heart. All these things that we explain, you know, all the healings, all the good stuff we talk about, it's coming from a good heart. I mean, we experience people with good heart, and they have it all. I mean,
Sorry, could you repeat that?
He said good heart.
somebody with a good heart, you know, has it all, owns it all. So the secret that the Torah is teaching us is 49 is equal to good heart, Lev Tov. Lev Tov has certainty, Lev Tov has happiness, Lev Tov has desire, Lev Tov has refuah, Lev Tov has kindness, chesed. A good heart is such a good feeling. You know, we all experience it. You know, we all see these people. Having a good heart is the ultimate of that light that we were talking about. And Omer, the numerical value of Omer is 310. Is also yesh in Hebrew. Yesh means having it. Having what? Having godliness. So our goal is to become like God. God created us in His own image. And our goal is to be. So Omer is yesh. Yesh in Hebrew is, oh, I have it. You know, sometimes you say, I have something. So by saying Omer is like, I have it. Yesh in Hebrew means having it. So
Yesh means having or means is.
Yesh? No, yesh is like yesh sefer, and there is a book. So it's like being, is being, having it's like being existed, like being alive. You know, is yesh, is God, having godliness. The angle that Zohar teaches us, yesh, is like having godliness within you. Somebody with a good heart. I mean, the closest thing that you can get to God is by having a good heart. There is nothing, there is no, I mean, practicing, you know, tefillot or eating certain thing doesn't get you close to the God. But having a good heart is because
آدم بود هارت داشته باشه ولی این مردم میان استفاده میکنن میشکننش چی؟
Different story.
she's asking, you know, you can have a good heart and other people come and break your heart. Excellent question. I'm going to respond to you. The Zohar says, go ask other people if I have a good heart. Don't be your own judge. I cannot say, Keyvan, you have a good heart. There is no such a thing. I'm going to lie to myself. I can come to Homa, do I have a good heart? Conor, do I have a good heart? If everybody says yes, then I guess I have a good heart.
Yes.
And the Zohar, yes. And the Zohar says, don't go ask your friends if you have a good heart. Go ask your enemies if you have a good heart. So it's not, you cannot tell I have a good heart. You cannot go ask your friends to tell you if you have a good heart. You have to go ask your enemies if you have a good heart. And if your enemy says you have a good heart, then Baruch Hashem, you're on the right track.
Which enemy will
من نمیخوام اینو چالش کنم ولی اسرائیل داره ریجکت میشه به وسیله خیلی کشورها، ولی خب اسرائیل خیلی خوبی کرده. حالا اسرائیل میگه که شما نازی هستید، نازی هستید، این همه آدم میکشید، این همه آدم کشتن، 2000 نفر کشتن. خب این انمی الان مسلمات با هم بپرسیم میگیم که اسرائیل از a good heart مسلمه میگن نه.
She's asking how come Israel, the country of Israel, is a country with a good heart? How come it has so many enemies? Having a good heart doesn't mean that you're going to have less enemies. You're going to benefit from it. You know, last time I was in Israel, is so funny. You know, in 60 years they become this superpower of everything, agriculture, medicine, technology. And it's so funny, you drive 10 minutes. You drive from Netanya 10 minutes, you go back like 100 years.
Yeah.
You see sewers in the streets, you see people living in a shed.
Cooking on a
In a
fire.
shed. So I said, look what a good heart, who's benefiting from this good heart? This country. They didn't get it for free, they earn it by giving agriculture wisdom to the whole world. They have the best agriculture. By being the best architect to build buildings for the other world, other countries, they have the best buildings. So to answer your question, by having a good heart, you are the beneficiary of it. You don't look at if my pride gonna get hurt, I'm nice and he's not nice to me. So you are the 100% beneficiary of it. Israel, by practicing good heart, it's the most beneficiary of that action.
And in the vernacular, the answer to your question in today's, here in America, in the society, would be, there's a lot of haters.
Yes, it is. But he asked me, go ask your enemy if you have a good heart. If he doesn't have she doesn't have a good heart, she doesn't know what the good heart is. You have to know it to judge it, to see what's a good heart is. When he has been doing all the horrible stuff, you know how she can say what's a good heart.
What you are looking as the enemy is the biggest helper that you can possibly have, because your enemy gonna say the truth. Your enemy gonna say the truth about you. A friend is not gonna say the truth about you. Enemy gonna say the truth. So the enemy is there for us to help us get better. I know it's hard to understand, but it is true. Your enemy gonna point out exactly what's wrong with you. We always want to hear what's good about me.
I think it's the principle behind that statement rather than the actual implementation of it. It's the principle that, you know, your friend doesn't want to hurt your feelings, so of course I'm going to say something nice about you, even if it's not true. But your enemy's not going to say something nice about you because they don't even care about you, they're your enemy. So it's the principle that is behind what he's saying. It's not the actual, you know, go ask your enemy and your enemy's going to say the truth. Yeah, am I being clear on that? Or?
It's very clear, Doctor. Thank you
One
very
more
much.
thing, I think having a good heart, it doesn't mean that we have to expect a good thing from others.
That's right.
We do the good thing.
Yeah.
Expectation makes it.
Regardless of what they do.
Yeah.
That's right.
You know, that was the next step I was getting into. Having a good heart means don't even think about revenge. Don't even have anger in you. Don't even want to fight with anybody, you know. Resent. And a Jew, believe it or not, supposed to do a lot of things for free, for no reward. And it's amazing, you know, that it's our DNA. But, you know, at the same time, we have a huge desire. So we always fall for the desire, and we don't act upon doing things for the, let's say, l'shem shamayim, for the sake of it, not for the reward of it. So that point of view, the enemy was amazing. That was a big breakthrough for me because it's so true. It's so true. Your enemy gonna point out your defects, not your friend. So we're gonna move on to the parasha. We done. I think we cover everything about Omer, and we're gonna move on to the this parasha of this week, which is Shemini. Shemini, like I said, means the 8th day. Welcome, Amirjo, welcome. Today we have this private.
Yeah.
If you like, come sit in the front, please.
Okay, oh, okay, thank you.
Shemini means the 8th day. What 8th day the Torah is talking about? It took 7 days for Moshe to put the Bet HaMikdash together, the tabernacle together, and on the 8th day was supposed to be the grand opening. You know, on the Sefirot, again, 8th day is Bina. The 7 days is the lower Sefirot, the 8th is the Bina. The 8th is beyond nature. Up to here is nature. Behind the 8th day is above nature, is above the physical world. That's why we have the Brit Milah on the 8th day. You know, Brit Milah doesn't make sense at all. You know, I mean, it's so hard to explain it because it's nothing have to do with the physicality. It's all about the upper world. So the Bina, the 8th day is referring to Bina. So it took 7 days to build the Bet HaMikdash, the temporary one, the tabernacle that they were on the way to Israel. On the 8th day, it was the grand opening of the Bet HaMikdash. So everybody were excited. Everybody were excited, and everybody dressed up. In the 7 days, Moshe put the temple together. He teach the Kohen Gadol, Aaron, what to say, what to do. And on the 8th day was a grand opening. And the Torah tells us that the 2 sons of Aaron had 4 sons. The 2 sons of Aaron, they brought Esh Zara, a strange fire. And at the same time, God's fires came and consumed these 2 brothers, the sons of Aaron. And the Torah tells us that Aaron was quiet, Vayedum. Aaron didn't cry, didn't scream, didn't complain, nothing. Let's first talk about what the 2 brothers did. The 2 brothers, they saw the end of the physical world. Can you imagine the opening there of the temple? So they thought that the Moshiach is coming, the redemption is here. This is it. Today is the last day of suffering and pain and sickness. And they want to jump into it. They want to do a shortcut. So there is many stories that they were drunk, they were not married. All these stories are not true. Kabbalah, the Zohar tells us that they want to do a shortcut. They want to do a shortcut and they want to achieve the redemption right away. I see the Bet HaMikdash, I see the Mashiach, boom, I jump on it. And the Torah says, no, you have to work on it. Like we spoke earlier about the Omer. There is no fast. There is no something we can achieve right away. There is no way I can open the 50 gates, this fast. I have to work on it. I have to go through the process of tikkun. I have to go through the process of my correction. I have to go through the process of learning and teaching and studying Torah, Zohar, Talmud, and then I can reach that consciousness of Mashiach. The 2 brothers, they thought this is it. This is the end of the suffering. Let's jump to a shortcut. God says, no, that's not the way to do it. You have to go through the process of learning and doing your correction and tikkun.
To prepare.
But that's about the children. We're talking now. We are going back to Aaron. Aaron saw his 2 sons, being consumed, being died, and the Torah says, "Vayedom." He stays silent. He didn't make a move. He didn't do anything.
He was shocked.
No. No, it was not shocked. We talked earlier about. You remember the power of. We said, Tzahala, what we're supposed to do today, no matter what, anything come to me tonight and tomorrow, I have to stay happy. It's hard to stay happy in a position of Aaron, but he stayed content. He accepted it. He had the wisdom, the knowledge, that the certainty that there is a reason behind it. So he stayed quiet, he didn't react it. Right away, God opened his eyes, his third eye, his wisdom eyes, and he saw his two children joining Pinchas and becoming Eliyahu Navi. So not only they didn't die, yes, the physical body was consumed, but their soul was untouched.
He got more happy.
So he saw, God opened his eyes, he saw that their children gonna become eternal life. They become Eliyahu Navi. The lesson for us is
They're gonna be Mashiach or
Eliyahu Navi. First, they join with Pinchas, and they become Eliyahu Navi. Eliyahu Navi, you know, is a character, is a soul that lives forever. He's present in every Brit Milah. And so the lesson for us is, let's say it's tomorrow, you know, I'm writing an offer on some building, and my offer is not getting accepted. So if I don't fall into sadness, if I don't fall into depression, if I don't start complaining, somehow, some way, my reward will be that I'm going to be able to see the future, other alternative. You know, in Farsi we have this saying, says one door close on you and other doors open up to you. I mean, you know, Persian is they have the most Kabbalistic sayings, slangs. So he says, listen, don't fall for it. Don't be depressed. Don't be sad. And give a chance to yourself, and he's going to show you what's going to be your better options.
If God closes one door, He opens lots of windows.
Lots of other windows and doors.
and, yeah.
So the reward of Aharon for not getting sad, not getting depressed, not complaining, not, I don't know, reacting, was for him to able to see what's going to happen to his children. And guess what? That was the Super Bowl of opening the temple. He had a lot of job to do. It was not a day off for Aaron. Okay, now my children, let me go sleep. No, he had the biggest. 6 million people were watching him and looking at him. He had to do this. He had to say that prayer. He had to bring blessing to these 6 million people through that temple that was ready. So on his biggest day, the biggest responsibility, the day that he have to do surgery and, you know, heal the 6 million people, the worst thing happened to him. So can you imagine not losing control and not only not getting sad, keep doing your job, keep doing his own thing. The Zohar say there is like two kind of people that they don't grow. One of them says, you know, I don't want to change myself, and so my destiny is not going to change neither. So the only way I can change my destiny is by changing myself. The only way I can see the future is by changing myself. And the other person says, okay, I'm going to change myself, but, you know, sad thing happens, so I'm sad, I'm depressed. So we should always believe that I want to change, I want to grow, I want to transform myself, no matter what comes into my plate. Rain, shine, war, no war, enemies, no enemies, any scenario that come around us. If Aaron a Kohen on his biggest day he could handle his job, we can handle our
Little.
tiny itsy bitsy responsibility that we have. You know, if a bad news come to us, I cannot say, okay, I shut down today, I'm going to go home and sleep. There is no such a thing, you know, in spirituality. We are strong, we are gevurah. Gevurah means strength. We have to achieve that strength that no matter what, we are going forward. I can't believe I've been talking for 1 hour already, so I'm going to stop this disc and I'm going to start a new one. Okay. So this is the second CD for Parashat Shemini. Let's read a little bit from the Zohar. So we're gonna implement. We're gonna bring down this energy of being strong enough not to fall for any challenges that come to us. Are we clear? Everything was understandable?
Oh, yeah.
Everything is good? You understand what happened with Aaron and his son? And there is another trick that the Zohar shows us on a sad day, on a dark day. I mean, It's going to come to us no matter what. We're going to read about it in Zohar right now. On a sad day, on a depressed day, on a bad news day, he says the only trick, the only formula that can help you come out of it, that darkness, is helping others. Is helping others. I remember our teacher Nader, he says the day you have the worst headache in the world you have, stand up and do something, help somebody else.
Or go
Do-
shopping.
Do help other people and that headache is gonna go away. So remember this formula on a sad day, on a dark day, help somebody else. You know, they always say this example, on a dark room you light a candle, you know, the room is not dark anymore. So the only way to bring light to that dark situation is by helping somebody else. Let's read one part of Zohar. It's amazing that says how God is talking to Torah. ובאורייתא הדברי בנון הוד ויאמר אלוהים נעשה אדם אמר קדוש בריחו לאורייתא בעיניים למברא אדם אמרה כמיה האי בנון זמנים למחתה ולארגזה כמך אי לא תעריך רוגזך עליה איך יקום בעלמה אמר לה אנא ועל נוקים ליה בעלמה דהאו לאו למגנה עד קרינה ערך אפיים. It's very funny that Zohar talks about God arguing with the Torah. He says, God says, I want to create a man, and Torah says, no, this man is going to go the wrong way. He's going to choose the shortcut. He's going to let the evil inclination take over him. And God and Torah are going back and forth. You know, Torah is the blueprint of the world, and God is the creator. They're going back and forth. He says, let's make a man. He says, the Torah says, no, don't make a man. He's going to go in the wrong direction. And God tells the Torah, enough. I have a lot of patience. God tells the Torah, I have erech apayim. I have a very long patience that I'm going to wait for this man to correct himself, to go through the process. He's going to make it. So I'm going to have the patience to wait for him to redeem himself, to correct himself. And this is not only a story, this is for us. We have to have the patience. We have to have this chesed, this kindness for us. That whoever enemies, whoever bad to us, eventually going to redeem too. They're going to repent and they're going to become better people. Another part of the Zohar this week, talking about the bet, the letter bet that the Torah started with. We're going to get why it's talking about the bet. It's beautiful. We're going to get to the point that it's talking about the animals. The Torah starts with the bet, and the Zohar tells us bet is made of 3 vavs. You know, I don't have a pen to draw it, but
You
bet,
can show us.
it's made of 3 vavs. Bet is right here. 1 vav here, 1 vav here, and 1 vav here. And the whole spiritual world, not only in Judaism, is built on the 3 columns. And each column is also like a vav. So
تاجه چیه بالا سرش؟
that's olamot. That's for some other class. So the Zohar tells us that the Torah starts with a bet with 3 vavs. Is a hint to the 3 system of the Kabbalah: sharing or giving, receiving, and the middle one is to receive in order to share. And this is where we want to be, to receive in order to share. If I want to give only, I'm going to fail. Thank you very much. If I want to receive only, I'm going to fail. But receiving in order to sharing, then this is where we want to be. So it says the bet is to show us the 3 vavs, the 3 column system. And the bet is very interesting. It's open in one side and it's closed in the other side. He says, if you open yourself to the Torah, the Torah is going to hug you. He's going to bring you in. He's going to embrace you. But if you don't care about the Torah, or if you don't approach the Torah, or if you don't let the Torah, if you don't recognize the Torah, then the Torah is close to you also. So, we are not at the point that we are trying to prove the Torah, the Bible is correct. Baruch Hashem, we passed that stage. But the reason we're talking about this because we're going to get to some interesting stuff about the lines. Another interesting that happening in this parasha. Oh, by the way, Zohar compare what happened to the sons of Aaron to Yosef and his father and the brothers. When the brothers of Joseph they sold their brother, they didn't get sad about it. They were actually proud about it. The only reason they got sad because they saw their father is suffering for 22 years. So the brothers, they were sad not because of the action they did. They didn't want to ask for forgiveness. They were sad only because of the father was crying. This time around, Aaron, he learned from the mistake of his grandparents. He took responsibility of the golden calf that he built in the earlier parasha. We know Aaron had to build the golden calf, and he saw the death of his children a consequence of the wrong doing that he did earlier. So the Zohar want to teach us every action there is a payment to it. There is the good action, there is a good reward, there is a bad action, you have to pay for it. There's a payment for it.
Consequences.
There's a consequence. So there is Aaron, it says he didn't got sad, he understood that it's coming to him because of the negativity he did earlier. So it makes us to be responsible for what we're doing now. You know, there's a lot of saying that whatever we do now, our children's going to pay for it. You know, where do you think that saying came from? It came from the Torah. We have to be careful. Any action we do, maybe God forbid, I cheat on a business, or I do a negative action. The payment is coming, you know. Now, maybe not to me, but maybe to the next generation. So we have to be aware of all the actions that we do. This week, interesting thing happened in the Torah. We are getting into the middle of the letters of the Torah. If you count all the letters, like Aleph, Bet, A, B, C, D of the Torah, this week parasha, we're going to reach the middle letter. So if you get to that middle letter, you count, I don't know, 300,000 letters here and 300,000 letters over there. Guess what that letter is?
Bet.
Vav.
Oh.
Vav.
The nail, the hook.
The Vav. Every single parchment of the Torah starts with a Vav, except 5 places. Every Torah starts with a Vav, and the middle letter of the Torah is also Vav, in a letter Gachon. Again, it teaches us about the system of the Torah. Vav is also, the numerical value is 6. It tells about the Zer and Pim. Vav is the one that make our immune system stronger by acting upon the Vav. First to be the middle column. Middle column is Malchut, Yesod, Tiferet, and that's how we reach the Keter, and also the 6 Sefirot that we act upon.
What does Gachon mean?
Gachon means going on his belly. It's talking about animals that are pure and not pure. He says that anything that goes on his belly is tameh, is not tahor. Yeah, so Gachon. But you know, the Torah is all about secrets. We don't fall for the story. So that Vav is the middle of the Torah. So by paying attention to it on Shabbat, we're going to achieve this. Our immune system is going to get stronger. We're going to connect to the middle column. And also, there is another middle part of the Torah. The middle word of the Torah is in this portion. Word. Like if you count all the words of the Torah, the word that is in the middle is also in this parasha, is the word darash. And the Torah tells us is is about protection. If you pay attention to that word, it brings us protection. Like the way the Noah boat bring protection to those people. When we pay attention to that middle word of the Torah, middle means usually everything. If you have the middle, then you have everything. So by acknowledging the middle word of the Torah, it brings us protection.
You were supposed to talk about animals.
I was just about to reach that point. Thank you very much.
Keep sealing his glory.
You know, there is a saying in Hebrew, sheker in Israel, sheker en lo raglaim. Lie doesn't have legs.
Lie doesn't have legs.
Legs.
In Ivrit, that's how do you say?
Sheker en lo raglaim. Sheker means lie. En lo doesn't have. Raglaim means legs. Raglaim.
Raglaim.
Let her finish so I can explain it. In Hebrew, we say sheker en lo raglaim. Lie doesn't have legs. What legs is talking about? Legs.
Lie, huh?
Lie. A lie doesn't have this three-column system. And in Hebrew it says le'emet yesh. The truth has legs. So this is the legs that they're talking about. So the whole spiritual system is built on these legs. The three moadim that we have, Shalosh Regalim, Passover, we talk about it. Passover, Sukkot, and Shavuot. Shalosh Regalim, 3 legs. So the Torah, the Zohar keep talking about these legs, these columns, that is the base for the spirituality. Chanukah, no. Chanukah is not part of this system. You know, when the Siddur says Shalosh Regalim, is referring to Passover, Sukkot, and Shavuot. We open the special Siddur. Now, the last part of this class, the last part of this portion, is talking about pure and impure animals that we can consume. This is one of my most favorite subjects, not only because of the animals, because I'm going to share with you why. This portion is talking about what animals we can consume. And the Torah says you can consume an animal that his hoof is split and he chews its own cud. میگه ما حیوانی میتونیم بخوریم که پاش سپلیت شده و نشخوار میکنه. And he says all those animals are okay, all those animals are pure. He says, but be careful, don't make a mistake. This is Torah, this is black and white on Torah parchment. It's not an explanation. He says, be careful. There is 3 animals, don't get a mistake. Two, the camel, he doesn't have a split hoof, but his chew is cut. Also the rabbit doesn't have a split hoof, but his chew is cut. And he says in the other one is the chazir, the pig. He has a split hoof, but he doesn't chew his cut. Again, I'm repeating. I want to go to get to the very special point. The Torah. This is not a halakha. This is not a rabbi. This is the Torah tells us. He says all the animals that have a split hoof and chew their cud, they are pure. You can consume them, but be careful. Don't get mixed up. The camel and the rabbit, they don't have a split hoof, but they chew the cud. Don't eat them. And also there is one is the pig that has a split but doesn't chew. The oldest Torah that we have in the world is from 2,000 years ago. This is from Dead Sea Scroll. By the way, they have it in California Center in downtown LA. I highly recommend it. There is a movie, Jerusalem 3D, and exhibition Garcia. The oldest Torah that we have is 2,000 years ago. Is identical, letter by letter, to our Torah. I'm not talking about 3,000, 4,000 years ago, because if you want to go if you want to talk like children, The oldest Torah is from 2,000 years ago. 2,000 years ago, nobody knew about the American continent. 2,000 years ago, nobody knew about Australia. 2,000 years ago, nobody knew about the North Pole. Nobody knew about the South Pole. 2,000 years ago, they didn't know about Africa, all the islands. 2,000 years ago, they didn't know about all the animals that exist in our planet. Today, they are still finding new species of animals in Amazon, in some jungles. What wisdom? Who knew about this fact that there is only two animals with this character and one animal with that character? I'm talking about 2,000 years ago. I want you guys to share this knowledge with other people. This is not Kabbalah, this is not Zohar. Open any Bible and you're going to see this in the Bible. Again, the oldest Torah we have is from 2000. I think this is should be the first lesson of any spiritual class. To prove, thank God, we are not into the point that we need to prove that the Torah is Amen. But if you want to teach somebody, start with this. 2,000 years ago, who knew about this character of this animal? Only a creator, only whoever created this planet and the animals could write it. You want to sign a contract today, you have to read the little writings, and you find a way to run away from that contract. You add amendment. Honestly, if I want to sign a contract, I'm so scared because maybe I change my mind in 2 days. Or how do I know if this is true what I'm signing? God created this Torah and you cannot change it. There is no way to change it. Who had this security that down the road they're not going to find the animal, a third kind of animal? How can you be so sure that sign your name on a book that, that you give this guarantee? Can you sign a contract that you guarantee to me something? Can you give me a contract that you guarantee something? Who had the power? Who had the power to sign such a contract? Only the Creator. So again, we passed that stage that, is the Torah is true, hasbe shalom. But if you want to teach Torah to your children, this was a great lesson I learned many years ago. If you want to teach the Bible to somebody, start from here. If somebody argues with you, rabbis wrote the Torah, some guys got lost in a desert, they were bored and they wrote something. Am I clear? Is it understandable?
Absolutely.
Do you understand the power of this book, this Torah right now? I mean, I wish they could teach this every day, in every school. So, if I create this table, I'm the only one that knows the specification of this table. And I sign, this is the table, you put 200 weight on it, it's going to break or not. So, only a creator, only somebody that created, he knows what he created. They said the Germans during the World War II, they spent millions of dollars. They sent scientists to all around the world to find another animal that doesn't have these characteristics, because they want to prove that the Torah is wrong, the Judaism is wrong. And Germans, they had this tremendous power, and they couldn't find. They couldn't find another animal that split this, and they couldn't. So this is a beautiful lesson about what we are holding in our hand. This is not, man didn't write this. No man 2,000 years ago knew what's going on this planet.
There could have been 30 animals in America or the Australian continent that violated that.
Who knew?
Exactly.
Who knew? So only the Creator. Please go home and read this. I wish we had the time to read for you the English, but it is black and white. I'm not making it up, and please read it in English, in Farsi, and you're going to see that how true it is. And the Zohar tells us, we are so concerned about, I don't want to get into the kashrut. He says we are so concerned about eating kosher. And the Zohar tells us, before eating kosher, you have to have a kosher mouth. He says if you don't have a kosher mouth, don't bother eating kosher because it won't make any difference to you. If I'm sick and I'm putting my medicine in a dirty cup, if I'm putting my medicine in a contaminated cup and I'm gonna eat that medicine is not gonna do to me anything to me. I'm still gonna stay sick. The Zohar is warning us. It says, before you are worried about the kosher food, worry about kosher mouth. It's amazing that our mouth has two functions. We can speak, we can talk, and then at the same time we can eat. He says, if your mouth is not pure, if it's tameh, if it's impure, anything pure you're going to put in it is going to become impure. If you have this bad tongue, if your tongue is hurting people, if you're negative, if you always sad, if you always talk about worriness, if you are doing lashon hara, you are talking about other people. He says, even don't bother, you're wasting your money on kosher food.
Especially lashon hara.
He says you're wasting your money.
I
First clean your mouth, and he says the kosher food is only for kosher mouth, not for unkosher mouth. Yes.
I heard that they say whatever goes into your mouth is not important. What is important, what it comes out of your mouth.
That's a nice example, but we're talking about these pure animals and impure animals.
من
He said,
مشکل دارم برای شما رو درک کنم. مثلا 7 بچه رو سوزوندن. آدم بایستی بخنده، نمیشه غمگین باشه، گریه کنه.
نگفته بخنده، acceptance. باید
خیلی سخته.
acceptance. قبول.
آدم آدم فرشته.
acceptance and content. باید آدم قبول میکنه. And let's take it.
کارش قبول نداری. مثلا کارش قبول نداری، گریه کنی کارش قبول داری، همین که Of course, we have to.
Let's talk about. Let's continue talking about this animal. So is it clear what I said about the kosher mouth?
Absolutely. We experience this every day.
He says, if you have an evil tongue, if your mouth is hurting other people, if you talk nonsense, if you talk negative, don't even bother to eat kosher food. Because as soon as you put it in your mouth, it's going to become unkosher. He says kosher food is meant to be for people that their mouth is kosher. And the Zohar says, it's not about, there's one word in Hebrew says asur, like, I don't know how to say asur, is forbidden. He says it's not about forbidden or you can do it. It's about pure and impure. The word asur in Hebrew is all the semblance of asir. If you go with the asur, you become a prison. Asir in Hebrew means prison. If you go with the mentality of asur or mutar, like I'm forbidden, you become a prisoner of this nonsense. Yeah. But if you go with the law of purity and impurity, then it makes sense. The Zohar explained to us that pure animals, it's kind of, I'm going to explain more, is they spell it. They spell the word pure with 3 dots. Hebrew has dots underneath. So the pure animals spelled with the 3 dots, that's equal to the 3 columns again. And he says, lotahor, the non-tameh, the non-pure animals, you put the 2 dots underneath. And the name of these two dots is tzara, so it comes from the word mitzrayim, darkness. He says pure is the 3 columns, and the impure is the 2 columns. Now, the Zohar talks more about the animals. Why we have such a big variety of animals and we can consume only certain animals. Maybe you want to fix the camera, this is important.
Sure.
We have the 10 Sefirot. The Zohar explained to us that there is higher 10 Sefirot, positive 10 Sefirot in animal kingdom, and there is a lower 10 Sefirot. That's for the negative animals. Like positive animals is including, all the animals that we consume. Also dogs, we all have dogs in our house. They are pure, good, positive animals, but we don't consume it.
Right.
So there is positive animals and there is negative animals. The positive tensefirot, and like the under one is, I don't know, the snake, the blood-eating animals. So the Zohar separate them in two kind of animals. And then the good ones, still we can consume only the right column, which is all the animals we do consume. And the left one, like I'll give a dog example. Dog is a positive animal. We love our dogs. They're positive, but we don't consume it. So we can consume only the positive animals, but the right side of the animals, the right column, the kind of animal that they have chesed in. And the whole purpose of consuming animals is not to satisfy our own body or our own desires, is to elevate their souls. When we say the blessing on the food, then we elevate their soul. We give elevation to their soul. So the Zohar says the tameh, the non-pure, non-kosher animals, their job in this world is they have other jobs. Their jobs, they're not here for their soul to get elevated. That's why we don't eat them. But we eat the animals that by consuming them, by they providing to us, then their soul get elevated. They're doing their tikkun, they're doing their correction. They're elevating their soul. The Kabbalists, now that talk about it many times, the Kabbalists, when they put a food in front of them, they said, listen, I don't have no desires to satisfy myself. I don't want to eat it, for myself only. The only reason I'm going to eat it because I want to give elevation to the food by doing his job, by satisfying me. He's doing his correction. One more surprise I have for you guys, about these kosher animals or animals that we can consume. We talk about the split hoof, right? The split hoof, that's how the hoof is split. There is two sides.
Right.
And when they chew their the cud is another one. So the Torah is telling us the only animals that are pure to eat is the animals that they go by the three columns also. This is the split hoof. There is two parts of the hoof. And when they are chewing their cud, so that's the third one. So this animal is go by the system of the three columns. For example, the camel, he has this one, but he doesn't have this two. And the pig has this one, but doesn't have this one. So the only animal that are pure to us, that they fall into the system of the three columns. And then we talk about the fish also. Again, I want you guys to remember this lesson of the Torah that tells us that about the fact of these three animals. This is amazing, fascinating fact about the Torah. What a concrete, what a solid. I don't want to say the word proof, but
it is
solid proof about the Creator. This is not a story. No human can possibly knew about this.
It's long before science.
It was long before science. And also the Zohar talks about the fish. He says what kind of a fish we can consume. He says, the fish that has a fin and has a scales. So again, the fish, what kind of a fish that we can consume? The fish that they swim straight, they're like a line. And since the fish is in the water and it's a chesed already, they don't need these three columns, the Zohar explains us. Okay. Because they are in the water. Water is pure chesed. And we don't do shechita on the fish. So the fish is the fish is the highest level of spiritual animal. That's why they're in the middle column. So they all, swim straight. We don't eat the kind of fish that are flat on the bottom. Right. We don't eat shrimps because they don't have this look. This is the only reason that the fish are kosher to eat because they swim straight. they're in the middle column. And since they're in the water, they don't need these two other columns because the water is pure chesed.
And it's only the fish that have the fins and the scales that swim straight.
Exactly. That's another fact that the Torah knew about this. Another point that I missed is about argument. You know, this is a beautiful. There is an argument between Moshe and the sons of Aaron in this portion also. I don't want to miss on that. The Zohar explained to us when you want to argue with somebody, argue about that particular point that you have an argument with that person. Don't start bringing up stories and facts from 2 years ago, 10 years ago, from, I don't know, your dad did this to my dad. You know, if I have an issue with you today, I should argue with you only about our today issue. We should never bring back stories from 1 hour ago, or yesterday, or 10 years ago, or my parents, or your grandparents, because this is destructive. If you have to argue, argue, but only in that about that particular subject of the day. So we don't want to. Our whole purpose in this life is to be united. If we start arguing about, you know, big picture, then we're going to get further from each other.
And we're Jewish, and so it's a genetic thing. You know we're going to argue.
So it's an argument on that particular thing. Thank you very much for coming. You know, it was a very special night tonight. You know, it's a special night tonight.
Great job.
We were very close to each other. It was very special. Please practice Omer.
And read the.
Practice any ticket, any homework you have to do for that particular day. And remember this lesson about kosher and pure animals. Please read it in English. Please read it in Farsi. Digest it to yourself and share it with others. This is a great lesson.
In English and Hebrew.
In
Can I
English
now
and
take a picture, or are
Sure,
you going to
sure.
give us a copy?
If you have any question, comments, you know, please.